I am from Austria. I have a little company, 6 people working for me, and I love Nika's description of Slovenia. She said it's in the south of Austria. So Austria is in the north of Slovenia. And I will not talk about our scheme. We have a result-based scheme very similar to the Slovenians. We already implemented it 7 years in our agro-environment scheme. It works well. It's just a pilot, 150 farmers. And we have additional to that 500 farmers in Austria who are monitoring on field plants and species. And we have 20,000 farmers who are working really on nature conservation measures, meaning on contract, but action-based and not result-based. So it's a lot of activities in the nature conservation sector in Austria. And I want to talk about something additional about this added value of farming for nature aspect. And I want to go, it's nothing, I have no tables now, it's really relax, it's easy to follow me. We had a meeting 4 weeks ago in Austria. We planned to make a network for result-based payments, and we had a conference in Vienna, and after that we had a field trip and we went to Karl. This is Karl and his grassland and his trees. This is a part of the group. We were 50, and he showed us grasshoppers and bees and trees and the birds there where they're nesting and all these crazy nature aspects. And on a certain point of this great demonstration, a colleague asked him, and how is it with the economic aspects? Is it okay? And because he has only less cows, so 20 cows, and it's a rather small farm, a bit bigger than the Slovenian, but not so much bigger. And he said his answer was, and I know Karl, not many people asking him so directly this question. How is it economically now? And his answer was, it's okay. It's quite okay. I'm happy. Maybe I could, today the milk price is down, also the other prices, butter and so on, is also down. And so he can't invest now, many things. This is not possible. But the milk price is up and down, so maybe time is coming that he can also invest more. And beside him there was his daughter, and some of the participants asked, and how is it, who will continue the work, who is following, if you are old, who is following in the farm? And that was a very interesting point, and the daughter said, I want to follow. I'm ready for that, the job is great, and I want to do it. There's only one problem. And the people asked him, what is the problem? And she said, my brother wants that too. But looking at this situation, it was very interesting for me that the situation, the answers to the economic question and this answer to the future. And so I have the question, is there any added value for farmers, for nature, a bit based on that what we experienced in this introduction? I have 3 quick approaches. The first is the economic approach. If we, in Austria, we have a very good cooperation between experts and farmers, quite a good cooperation. This is a farmer in the northeast of Austria, in the Mainviertel, and this is one of our experts. And if we are on the field, together with the farm, on the kitchen table, and we are talking, then there are coming up some dreams on this side and maybe also on this side. The question is how, for the expert especially, and we also heard already today from it, how can we develop this great nature for farming, or farming for nature, sorry, how we can make an economic value, how somebody would say how we can make a great deal for the future. And if we think on that, then we think first, of course, on the market situation, and then many things are coming up. Everything should be green, everything should be regional, everything should be healthy, and this man has a chance, has an opportunity to get that. But if we tell that the farmer, there's a big question mark. Because, and I speak now, maybe especially from Austria, it's not so easy. It's not so easy to jump in this market. Why? First of all, just that you don't misunderstand me, it's great. It is simply the best. I mean, if we get our farmers for nature, if they get something from the product and they really develop in a way that consumers pay for it and buy it and so on, that is the most important and great end of the story. But the second thing is, and I speak now, maybe especially from Austria, it's extremely hard regarding the competition. It's, in the meantime, the first Liga. So it means you have to be really, somehow, you have to have colleagues, you have to put you together, you have to find maybe a big chain or a to go to the chamber and to make cooperations. You have to have good labeler and so on and so on. We have many examples in Austria that it works, but for the easy, it's no easy answer to the farmer. So we should support them much more, and we should know that not each farmer will have success with that. And we should have also other arguments to push farming for nature than this. Even everything, even minimums, we have to support. The reason why it works so well in this market is very easy. And the reason is that the consumers want it more and more. The consumers want that the milk comes from the region, that the milk is healthy, and especially also more and more that the products, cheese for example, is tasty. So what we get in the supermarket today, we lose the taste, we lose, of course, quality, we lose healthy products and so on. So we can say nature products are sexy, definitely, and that is my second approach. I have a sexy approach. In the organic organization of Austria, there was a pig developed. Of course, it was a real one. I already know it personally. It is in Salzburg. It's dead now, but it's 10 years ago. Now they have a new one. And this pig is in all our campaigns, in the television, on the big posters on the street, everywhere. Even in the radio, without photo. And it's telling stories, it's happy, it's on the grassland, every time on the grassland, even in the house. And insects love, bees love the pig, etc., etc. I want to tell you something how farmers react on that. Because I know many farmers, they hate it. They hate this pig because they say it doesn't reflect the way how we produce today. People believe in that, and people believe because people are sometimes stupid. We have to say that. They believe that pigs are on the grassland, they believe they are jumping everywhere, and then we have a stable, and pigs are there, and then they are disappointed. So sexy things can disappoint. And sexy things are also, it's also a first step to a lie. And it's dangerous. I just keep that as it is, because that's not the only sexy thing we have in Austria. I have to say that. We developed to make farmers in nature more attractive. We asked them to put away their clothes. And sorry, this on the female. We have a male also. And it's called Jungbäuerinnen und Jungbauern calendar. The Germans know because they have the same. I don't know who has stolen it from whom, but we have both naked farmers and farmers. And yeah, it's funny to see them, but the question for me is, it's sexy, but is it really sexy? And especially, do we have for this calendar another idea? Can we be more sexy? Even more? Just think on it. More sexy than that? We developed an idea, and I think we are more sexy with that. We made the opposite. We made a calendar with the oldies. And just to tell you why, because for us it is really sexy to have a face of people, of farmers, where you see in it stories, wisdom, experiences, and this is something what we just developing now. It will be more or less open in a few weeks, and I just want to give you some pictures. For example, for them, we had also interviews with them, and we put that together in the exhibition and in the calendar. And his sentence is, for example, I like to go to the stable, because I have simply to talk with my cows. I have another woman, very nice. I see how everything grows and prospers, and that gives me a lot of inner satisfaction. I like this woman. You never know what happens next. And she says, for me, it is the best reward for my hard work when I see healthy cattle grazing. So what we tried to put with this calendar is and with these photos to tell the people stories, how these old farmers are connected with their animals, connected to the nature, and what kind of happiness they have in them. We did a similar thing before we did this Altbauern calendar, the calendar with the oldies. We did an exhibition in Croatia and also in Austria. I will come to that. It was called My Favorite Place in the Landscape, and we went through whole Croatia to 16 farmers, selected farmers, and asked them simply the question, where is your favorite place in the landscape? And we went with them to the place, and there we made the interview. And it was an exhibition and a little book, and the slogan was, don't visit the exhibition comes to you, meaning we were in post office, in communities, in hospitals, gas stations, and so on and so on. So everywhere where you go, just for another reason, and then you see it. What was very interesting is that the television, the national TV in Croatia, were 3 openings of these exhibitions, and they told for them it's absolutely great, because farmers in Croatia until now are general loser. So it's the last job which you should do. There's many things before. At the end, there's a farmer. And what they liked is that we bring up this message to the people that farming is something special, and especially farming for nature. I just also bring here you 3 pictures and quotes from them. This man in the Weller pit with his horses, and yeah, I like them. It's a typical family farm. Look at him. On what is he thinking? I like that. And he said the farmer is on the right side. A very nice thing. My colleagues go to the gymnastic. Or I go to the fields. So something And this is also a farmer. This was published in the newspapers because they liked it so much. He did it for us without asking. He said, make something funny. And he said that a big discussion in Croatia, like we heard it from Nika, is that people leave the place. And he really gave in the interview the impression, it can happen whatever it is, I will never leave this place. And this is a message, also a very important message for other farmers. We did it also in Austria. I will just show you some pictures. It looks like we are ticking like our sheep. They are the two farmers on the corner. We also showed the technique today, and that these two young farmers handle it, and that they get so much back from the animals if you handle them right. And this lady, I really like it. It's in Tyrol on the Alp. In the morning I look out of the window and then I plan the day. So I can make seminars from each of these sentences for one day if you want. This kind of impression of farming in nature, how they are connected with this scenery, with this approach is great. This is also last picture. So my call, therefore, my last approach, the lifestyle approach. And if we look at the interviews of many farmers, not only on these farmers in these exhibitions and not only on these farmers of Croatia and of the oldies, there is a pattern in many answers which is similar for farmers who work in nature. And I just excluded some, included here in the slide. First, I'm independent. I'm happy because I'm independent. That's today, in a world where we depend on many things, very important to have this feeling. If I ask an officer in the authority, are you independent? Then he laughs. You know, I depend on telephone calls, on minister, on my chief, on my boss, and at home, at my wife. So it is something what is rare today. And the second, also very important, I'm not afraid to lose my job. Many farmers answered that. And when I heard this answer, I got many young people, my own sons and many other people who are completely afraid about that. Who knows what this will be with me in 2 years, in 3 years, never know something like that. I'm happy to work in nature. Many people would like to work in nature. Many and more would like to work in nature. I love my animals. Animals are used for therapy, for a lot of things, we know that. So farmers have the possibility to work all day, the whole year with the animals. They have names, they know how they are ticking. They try that the doctor should not come. I see the results of my work. Many people answered that. You're working and you see the result. You're working, you see the result. I don't see the result every day from my work, honestly. Sometimes yes, but... And I think that many people don't see any result of their work if you compare it. And I can decide by myself, day by day, even if the weather is, even the weather allows, etc., but in principle. Brendan would ask me now this question. He always is looking for big ideas when we sit together. And what is your big idea? What is your big? And I have one for you, developed just for this conference today. Only an idea I want to do with these thinkings. I want to do a campaign where we making the farmers aware what they have, the farmers working in the nature, and when we're also making people aware what farming means. Farming in nature means. And I selected 3 photos you already seen, and I would like it like that, for example, or like that. Or very simple, maybe like that. So something that brings not only the economical aspect is coming back to them. The economical aspect is for sure absolutely important. I just wanted to express it's absolutely hard. We need support from many sides to that. And we should sometimes look on what we have, what we already have. And I think that the people, the farmers for nature, they have something which should also be, let me say, we should also be more aware of that, that if the daughter of the father says, I have only one problem, also my brother wants to do the job, then it seems that it means something for the happiness of this farm. That's all. Thank you.